In this video, I'd like to do a quick start guide, basically from purchasing to strategy, and give you a couple tips in order for you to start using Strategy Ninja as it's intended. So the first thing is purchasing a license. It's pretty simple. You can either click, once you get to our website, you can click up here to join community tier, or if you scroll through all the different pieces of information, you get down to the bottom where we have our two current tiers available. Right now we are doing an introductory pricing, so take advantage of that while it's available. We just went live, so everything is at a discount. Anyway, all you have to do is either click get access here, or you can click up here to join community tier. Community tier is perfect. You get everything we offer. So you just click over here at get access, and you should be greeted with this screen. Once you're in here, just fill out the billing address and your credit card. There's a few different options as far as how you can pay, and that'll be it. And you just start your free trial, as you get 14 days free as soon as you enter. Within those days, if you don't cancel, you'll end up going into the month-to-month. That's it for purchasing. Once you purchase, you'll be getting an email. Within that email, you'll get a couple of things. You'll have your license key and a Discord link. So get into Discord. That's the first step. Sign into Discord. If you have not yet had Discord in the past, then you need to download it. It's discord.com, and just make sure you actually verify your email once you get it, because if you're not verified, you can't get into servers. Just sign up for it. It's free, and then make sure you verify yourself in Discord. Once you've joined our Discord server here, we have a lot of different channels, but the most important one, as soon as you enter, is this one here, latest software updates. And within that channel will be where you get our software. So we don't have it anywhere else. It'll be within Discord. That way it's just there for our community, and you'll have the latest software in there at all times. So whenever we update it, we'll just post it in there. So you download the software, and it's right here on my desktop. So once I get the software loaded, I can double click that. You just want to accept the agreement here. You click next, and here you're going to enter your license key that you received in that email that you got earlier after signing up. You click here to verify. So verifies, make sure that you're valid. And once you're verified, you can click next, and then that'll start the install. So once you've completed your installation, it installs a zip file on your computer. It installs several other files. And if you actually click this link that it creates for you right here, Strategy Ninja Trading Suite, you click that and you'll get this folder here. It'll open up, and within it you just have a few different items that are there. There's going to be some items that are going to happen from the software, so those will show up later if you haven't used it yet, like our copier backup settings. You'll have some icons. Here's the end user license agreement. This license file is actually your license, so if you open it up, it's just a text file of your license. Here you'll get the Strategy Ninja guide, and this guide is just full of great things about the software, so you can learn how to use it, different strategies, how they're set up, how they are actually ran when you set them up, all sorts of stuff in here. So go through that when you have a chance. A lot of questions might be answered right through there. You also have a copy of the zip file right over here, and you'll have the installer here as well. So you get all of that as soon as you install it. Now the next step is to actually within NinjaTrader. So if you haven't set up NinjaTrader, you'll need to get a copy of that as well. And if you need NinjaTrader, you can actually go right over here, click this link, and it sends you to NinjaTrader, and you can sign up over there. It is a free service, just like Discord. Discord is also free. And so you just sign up over there, you go through their questionnaires, and once you get it, you'll just open it up on your desktop. And basically you can close all the windows except for this window right here, which is your control panel, and start with that alone. So once you got that, you'll go to Tools here, and you'll actually go to Import and NinjaScript add-on. So then you'll see this import window from NinjaScript, and you actually want to go to Documents, NinjaTrader 8, Import right here, Okay, Documents, NinjaTrader 8, and Import. So you can easily import it right there. So it'll always copy the newest version there, and it'll always be the same name. And so you just have to go back once you reinstall the latest version. All you have to do is go over here, and you're set up. So just open that. Once you open it, it'll go through the install process. Just click yes for everything. For example, it tells you we have certain add-ons. So you just say yes, click yes. So once it's installed, all you have to do is restart NinjaTrader. Anything it asks you regarding Strategy Ninja, it usually will be another add-on question, and you'll just say yes. And once that's done, it's now installed and ready to go. So now that you're back into NinjaTrader, at this point, the best thing to do is go over here to chart and select a instrument. I'll be on M&Q, and this little sign is that it's got delayed data because we are on a free connection that doesn't have live data. And so for this example, we're just doing it this way. So we're not trading anything live. So just select that. That'll open you up a nice chart right there. Okay, just like that. So now we have a chart, and there's two important things to add to a chart. One will be your control panel, and the other will be a strategy. So to get the control panel, all you have to do is right click on the chart and go to indicators. You'll have a folder there called SNL indicators. Just open that up. You click on the first one here, SNL Control Panel. You can either double click it, or you press this add button down here, and it adds it down to the configured section here. This does not have to be changed. All you do is press apply and then OK. Now we've got our control panel on the left side here. So now the next step is to actually apply a strategy to the chart. Once a strategy is applied, this control panel will go live and you'll be able to see a lot of data regarding the strategy. But for right now, it's telling you have to actually attach a strategy, but we don't have any strategy currently available, or at least a configured strategy. You can always configure it yourself just by pressing right here. If you double click that, it adds it down to configured, and you'll have an entire strategy right here that you can instantly add to the chart. It's configured for something specific. It does have defaults in there, so if you do attach it, it will run. But for me specifically, we would want to create a strategy in the analyzer, then we want to backtest it, and then we want to attach it knowing that it's actually a functional strategy. So by functional, I just mean that it's profitable, because this will function just as it is. So if I actually enable this, it will work. But let's not do that yet. We'll actually create a strategy. And so first thing you want to do is open the strategy analyzer, and that is right here under new and strategy analyzer. Once you click that, this window will pop up, and then right here under strategy, you want to change that to SNL Strategy Builder Pro. And this will give you all of the settings for our builder. So this is where you build your custom strategies right here. Now for us, I'm going to demonstrate how we build our Strategy Ninja ORB strategy, which is very basic, simple, and it does really well. So let's get started with that. If we click back into Discord real quick, and we go down to honorable mentions here, and then you go to the pinned messages and you click on Strategy Ninja ORB, it'll jump you straight to the strategy. So this is our Strategy Ninja ORB. Now we can go through and apply this exact strategy to our builder here. So let's just start from the very top. The data series is right at the top because this is actually something that NinjaTrader doesn't always save. And so it's nice to see this right at the top. So here we'll just scroll down to data series, instrument, M&Q, and you can ignore this last part, since if you trade futures, the contracts change. And so this last part doesn't matter. It's just make sure you're on M&Q. And so we're on M&Q here. Price base last. We're on type minute value. We want to change this to 5. And then here, this tells you that this setting specifically was changed in the data series. These are just telling you to verify, because sometimes when you open up the strategy analyzer, or if you've been working on something, these settings may already be preset. So this is just saying, hey, verify Whereas this one here, this has changed. Just go to Strategy Ninja Heikinashi bars, which is right here, and go to Enable on Primary Data Series. So now we got this first section complete. Next section is the time information. And this is one of those things that is very important because everybody's located in different parts of the world. And so the way we set this up is to make sure that anywhere you are, you can get the same exact settings and make sure that they run properly. Everything is displayed in UTC. And so we want to make sure that this setting right here, show time in, is actually in UTC time. So now we're in UTC time, and so we'll actually get the proper settings when they're set up. So right now we see that the start time is 2:30, and that's still correct right here. But our end trading time is 3:30, and I have 3:59 here. So we want to change this to 3:30. Our flattened time's at 4, and then our flattened all open trades at this time. Okay, so everything else is good. So since everything else is good, we just go to show time in, and we just change it back to our time zone. So once it's changed back to our time zone, you'll see all of the numbers have gone back to our time zone, which is, it's the opening range strategy. So it's right at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's my time zone right now. It's Eastern time. But if you're just something else, this will change to whatever yours is. And that way you know what time the strategy starts at in your local time zone. So that's how you flip-flop between UTC time, which is what everybody sees in this right here. And these are the settings that you can give to other people. That way everybody is getting the same exact information. If you've ever joined other Discords or Telegram groups or whatever where people are sharing strategies, this is one of those sticking points that every time somebody shares a strategy with you, you're like, what time? 9 o'clock. I put 9 o'clock and it's the worst. Their 9 o'clock is not your 9 o'clock, right? So if you stick to that, you should get the exact same settings. So now we've got the time taken care of. Next is the strategy settings here. And so we'll just go all the way to the top and we'll start at the top. So the first thing is the Strategy Builder Pro Parameters, which is right here, Strategy Builder Pro Parameters, Strategy Entry Type. You go down, Strategy Entry Type, and Opening Range 1 bar breakout. So that's how you read this. It's each section is at the first, and then the next part, and the next part. And so it's that simple, and all you have to do is just read it. So the next one is Initial Trade Parameters, which is right here, Initial Trade Parameters. And then it says Trade Direction, right here, Trade Direction, goes to long. That just says that we only take long trades, we don't do shorts. And so every short that is a possibility, you'll actually ignore. Okay, next thing is Initial Profit Target and Initial Stop Loss. So both of these are 200. So we'll change that right there to 200. Okay, so now we've already taken care of these 4. Next is Advanced Trading Parameters. So right here, Advanced Trading Parameters, Advanced Take Profit Settings, and we want Dynamic TP. Okay, so once we select the Dynamic TP settings, because that's what we're looking for here, now we see the Dynamic Take Profit Update Initial Take Profit if less, which is this section right here. That pops up once you select it, that section will all pop up. So all of these options here, whatever you select within it, it pops up and it removes any other section. So for example, if I went to Dynamic Stop Loss, the other section disappeared and this one popped up, so you can fill it in. Now, anything you fill in will remain there. It just hides it from view so that it's not cluttered. So we go back to Dynamic Take Profit Settings here, okay? And we look at Use Dynamic TP Swing. So this one right here, Dynamic TP Swing, okay? And so the way this works is it dynamically calculates the take profit. And so it's not something you can really do manually. It does it all instantly. So as soon as you take the trade, it calculates everything out. It checks the last, let's see here. So Dynamic TP Swing Length 100. So it'll check the last 100 candles. The swing height is 40, and it'll check the last 100 candles with a height of 40 pixels scaled against the 1000 pixel reference window to convert the measured swing into ticks for the target. Basically, it's calculating a percentage of the total change in the last 100 candles. And for this, it's 40. It's not something you can calculate manually as soon as you go into a trade. And so you need our Strategy Ninja software for that. And so it'll calculate it out real quick and instantly put a take profit target for you once you enter into a trade. And then the dynamic TP swing minimum ticks, this is 40 as well. So basically what's happening, if you watch a couple of my other videos, your initial profit target right here is 200 ticks. And then what ends up happening is the dynamic TP will update this number if it's less. And so if this calculates a value less than 200 ticks, it will update it and it will take that as your take profit rather than the 200 that you applied up here. And you'll need this software in order to do that. So once you apply these settings in here, let's see, that's it for this area. The dynamic TP swing minimum ticks is just telling you that although 200 is your max, 40 ticks is your minimum. So if it calculates something at, say, 32 ticks, it's not going to take 32, it'll still do 40. And so your minimum take profit is always going to be at least 40 ticks. And so that's how that works. But you can always adjust any of these settings and play with them and see if something works better for you specifically. So that's how that is set up. Next, we have to go back to sessions, time parameters. So now we go back to right here and let's see what we've got. We got flatten time. So this setting right here, and that just says that at 11 o'clock flatten time, it will flatten any open trades at this time. So the end trading time is just the last time it can execute a trade, but it doesn't mean that it's not trading past that. It just means that's the last time it'll execute a trade for you. After that, you can either let it go all day if you want, or if you want to flatten it right here, like we do here at 11 a.m., our local time, you just click this and at 11 o'clock, it'll flatten any trade that may be open. Okay, so then we've got within here, we've got our opening range X bar. So this is how you actually configure how many bars will be considered your opening range. So we have 3 because it's a 15-minute opening range. So from 9:30 to 9:45, it's waiting. Remember, we have 5-minute bars here. So we're on a 5-minute time frame. So after 3 bars, which is exactly 15 minutes, it's going to create your opening range. And that's the setting you're choosing right here. So opening range X bars. So we're just telling it 3 bars. After 3 bars, you've created your opening range. And at this point, we can start taking trades. Okay. And the next thing is the advanced session options right here. You go to choose trading days and you deselect Friday. So I don't trade Fridays. You can keep it on, but Fridays for this specific strategy is usually a 50% break-even type. The way I see it is you just don't trade it because why pay the fees for something that you're going to break even in anyway, and then you're just paying fees and actually losing money in the end. And so for me, I choose when it's something very close to a break-even type day on a very long scale, I don't take those trades. Okay, so that's all that. Next, we can actually change this. So we can go to 01/08/2025, 01/07/2026. So this will give us a back test of 1 year, the 7th to the 7th today. So this is 1 year. Now, if you're watching this in February, March, April, another month, you can't use this date itself because NinjaTrader only goes back 1 year unless you have your own data. And so you want to only backtest for the last full year at most, or you can just backtest like a month or 2 and see how it did in the last couple of months. So we've got all our settings in. Everything has been set up according to this strategy. And all we have to do is click run. The backtest may take a few minutes, especially on NQ, as it's a lot of data, especially when we're doing a full year. Like a 1 month backtest will be a lot faster, but if you're doing a full year, you can expect several minutes of waiting for the backtest to complete. And so we'll be waiting a little bit. A quick tip while this is working in the background, if you ever see inconsistencies in the backtest, especially between different computers or different people, as if they'll post their results and you're getting some strange results, sometimes it's actually your historical data. So in here in historical data, you actually need to select the instrument that you want to trade and then press on tick over here to ensure that you're downloading the tick data. And then update this to whatever date you're looking to backtest from, so 01/08/2025 all the way to today, and download that. And that'll refresh all your data as far as what's going on. Sometimes, especially if you haven't downloaded anything in the past, or if for whatever reason something happened, corruption or whatever, you'll get the best data, cleanest data, and you'll have all that you're actually needing to run your backtest with. Sometimes you'll see trades that end up not closing when they should have closed, and so it looks like it's a bug or something in the backtest, and a lot of times it's just data. Sometimes it is bugs, but a lot of times, the majority of times, the first thing you should do when you have strange results is re-download your data, and then after you re-download it, retest it, and see if you're getting the exact same results or if it's been updated. So make sure you're on the connection that you actually use. So if you're on a prop firm and you use Apex, stay on that connection. If you work through NinjaTrader itself, keep that connection. So whatever you're using, just be connected to that and then download the data, because data between connections may be slightly different, especially if you're using prop firms and the way they do it. Just letting you know, just a little quick tip in case you ever see some weird inconsistencies or strange things where there's months missing or anything odd that can happen. Just make sure you download your data and then retest. Okay, perfect. So our strategy finished its back test. It did take maybe 10-15 minutes on this computer. It also matters what kind of computer you have, what kind of CPU you have. So yeah, if you're running really long back tests, especially on NQ, it does take longer. On some of the other ones, it won't take as long because there's not as much tick data. So like ES and RTY, gold, all that stuff. So there's a lot less data, and so it goes a lot quicker. But on NQ, it tends to go a lot longer. So anyway, let's just quickly take a look at what we see here. And I'm really loving it. It's a 95% win rate. Now, remember, this is micro NQ, and so your wins are very small, but they happen a lot, right? So if you look here, our average wins are around $20, but it just depends. So they fluctuate depending on the actual market, the last 100 candles and all of that. Let's keep looking here. I'm loving what I'm seeing, and this is literally the one that we had on the Discord that was about 2 months old, and now it's a little bit more. This one right here, this one was a 94.5% win rate, and so now it's 95.19. So it's actually gone up over the year. So yeah, I'm loving it. This is the one I trade daily, especially for my social media channels, and so people can see it's the one I trade for myself. And you just have to decide for your risk management how you want to trade it, because I trade just one micro, but if you want to trade more, you can. Your max drawdown is typically $100. And so if you lose a trade, you'll get around $100 loss, but you build it up because during the year, there's very few trades. Look at this, 5 trades lost while 99. And if you go to trades here, let's open this up a little bit. Yeah, so you can see you have 1 loss here, 1 loss in February, 1 loss in July, 1 loss in October, and another loss in December. And this is why you do dynamic take profit, because look at this. Like on this day, it was $50, $48. And you'll have different days that have different values. And so you don't want to just run it with a bare minimum. You want to run it properly. And so that's basically it. That's the strategy. Now, once you got that strategy, the next part is to actually go to template here and save it. We'll call it Strategy Ninja ORB. So you save that there. So now we go back to our chart, right? And this is where you attach your strategy. So you can either click here on Attach Strategy. You can right click and go to Strategies here. Both of them bring you to the same window right here. Double click this, or you click on that and press the Add button. Either way gets you the same place. Go to Template, Load, and Strategy Ninja ORB right there, okay? So that loads up and all your settings update. See your profit target, stop loss 200. So all that's updated. At this point, the only thing you need to do are 2 things. You change your account to whatever you want to trade with. I do prop firms, so I trade prop firm accounts, but even so, I use the Sim SCP Master. I created this Sim account, and it's what I like to do because I don't like to trade off of a live account, because live accounts tend to have problems whereas a SIM account does not have almost any problem when it comes to data and things, and so fill rates and all that stuff. So SIM accounts will get you in, get you out of a trade, and force any follower accounts on the copier to do the exact same thing. And so if an individual account has a problem, that's a little bit better than if the entire system has a problem because you're on a live account. So I use a SIM account. You can do the same. You just create your own SIM account and use that. And then the second thing is you want to enable the strategy right here. So you click that to enable it, and there it goes. And you can also enable it right here in the control panel if you're in the strategies tab. This pops up right here. You can enable it there. And the name, you can actually rename it to whatever you want, and that was in that last window you saw. So you can actually go back to strategies right there. And if you're in this window, you just disable this, and then right here in the label, you rename it right there. And whatever your name is, that's what's gonna pop up over here. And it also shows right up here in the control panel. And that way you can keep tabs on everything. So that's it. Now you've got yourself a working strategy. You've got yourself the control panel on the left, chart trader on the right. Now I do not recommend adding more than one strategy per chart. So if you want another strategy, create another chart and add it to it. So every strategy should have its own chart. Maybe in the future, we'll look to see if it's possible. But with so many indicators, so many things happening right now, the cleanest way to do it is just one strategy, one account. And now that we're in here, you see everything to your left here. See, it shows you your session start, end time, all of that information. Over here in historical, you'll have to go to data series to see how many days. So right here is the last 5 days, but you can change this to 30 days, for example, and this historical will show you 30 days, and that's what I do on my charts. The biggest thing here is just knowing that you can disable the strategy anytime by just clicking this big button right here. And once it's disabled, you can't enter into any trades manually, and it won't enter you into any trades automatically. The strategy is disabled. You can see everything live. You can watch the indicators, the charts, see what's happening. You're safe. If you have a kid at the table and they're clicking on the keyboard, you want to be safe. Or if you're leaving to go to get some water, get a drink, whatever it may be, and you don't want something to happen while you're gone, you can always disable it as well. And we always recommend you're at the computer, of course, because bugs do happen, internet issues happen, broker issues happen, and you want to be there and get to whatever it is that's causing problems as soon as you can to fix it so you don't sustain any possible losses. The other quick thing is right here at the bring copier to front. If you're a copier person, you can click that if it's open. We have it open in the background, but if it's not open, you can actually click right here to new and Copier Pro. That's the one that's available for our users. Basic is not currently available, but we may include it later, especially if you're not using just our strategy to trade with. If you're using other strategies and other indicators and other things that don't play well with our copier is made very specific to our system. And so it works with a lot of the settings and things that we do. But we may include a basic copier in the future for our users if they request it. And that one does not have a lot of the features that we have, protection features and things like that. For now, we're just using the Copier Pro. So if you need to open it, click that. And then you can press the bring copier to front. So if you don't know where it's at, boom, there it is. Once you're in here, I just want to go quickly through this so you have an idea of what's going on. It'll show you all the accounts right here, and it's pretty simple. If you don't have any copy to accounts open, then you have the choice to select the master. Now, if you do have one and you pause the copier, again, you have the choice to select the master there. So you can select whichever master you want. We like this one, the SCP master. And then we select whatever we want to copy to. So say we want to copy to sim test 1 and 2, we can copy to that, right? And then after that, down here, you get all your account details. You get details up here as well. So if there's an active trade, they'll show you here. This will be the total for the day, and this is the balance for your accounts. And as you go through, you'll see different things. But here in balance settings, real quick, the type of account. So if sometimes it'll find an account, especially for Apex, since I set it up that way. Other times it may not find your account automatically. And if you go into balance settings, all you have to do is go over here and update the type of account that you have. So if it's a real account, which means a real cash account, a funded account from like a prop firm, an evaluation account. These are like some accounts that you're just waiting to be evaluated. So you can choose a type of account right there, which lines up with these right here. And so you'll get details for those specific accounts right over here if you select a type here. So in the show and the calculation, that's part of showing the details here. For example, if I don't want to see my SIM accounts right here, so I don't want to see them because they're just SIM accounts, they don't matter. So maybe I have a couple SIM accounts and I really don't care about the balance because they're just for fun or whatever you're doing with them. And so you don't want to be bothered by their balances. You can take that off. For calculate, if you want to calculate, it's calculating within the total balance. And so if you don't want to calculate again for some accounts, you may not want things calculated out for whatever reason, then you can just play with these settings and you'll see between them how it works. And then this is just the value of the account. It just grabs that from NinjaTrader. You've got your prop start balance and your goal. So for example, say this was a evaluation account and this was a funded account, and say our start balance was 100,000 and we want to get to 3,000 on here and like 5,000 here so we can pull money out, right? At that point, let's show it here. So at that point, if you look here, the balance is now zeroed out. And the reason for that is if you're working with a prop firm, you start at a certain balance. You don't start at zero. So if you start at $100,000, you're technically zeroed out. And that's what it does, is zeroes out this balance here because now your cash value and your prop start balance is exactly the same. So you're zeroed out right over here. And when you hit your goal, the number turns blue. And so you know that you've hit your goal over here. Now, if say your start balance was actually $50,000 and right now you have 100,000 in there. Look at that. So right now it'll show you a balance of 50,000 because that's technically where you're at from your start balance, right? And so that's how that works. So if you're above, you'll see it in green. If you're below, you'll see it in red, things like that. So that's basically what it is. It just makes it easier visually to understand where you are, if you're actually in the red, if you're actually in the green, or whatever it is, rather than just having a big number there. That doesn't really matter because in prop firms, you might have a $150,000 account. You start at 150, right? And this way you'll know exactly what's yours. Like in a funded account like this, say you started at 95,000, or let's say 97,500. Okay, look, so right now you have a $2,500 balance, right? Because it hasn't hit its goal of 5,000. So that's how that works. If you put in here your start balance and you'll set up the type, you'll get a nice clean look over here, and all of this stuff gets calculated out properly by calculations here. And then say you don't actually trade certain accounts, like you don't trade the real accounts and you don't have any SIM accounts, or you don't care about the details of the SIM accounts. You click those off and then you just get the funded and the evaluation details right here. And again, this just shows you active trades. So if there's a trade happening, it'll show you if you're in profit or loss, your daily profit and loss, and then the balance on the accounts. And so if you zero everything out, because it's the same as your actual kind of stuff for these three, now all of a sudden everything is zeroed out because your start balance and your actual value matches. And so everything is like a zero because you haven't made any move in the upwards direction or down yet. But as soon as you do, all of these numbers will change, and then you'll have a better sense of where you are realistically. Now, if you don't want that, you just keep the start balance off and it'll just use the cash value across all the balances. So it's just a way for you to be able to see it a little different. And that's basically the copier right there. So now you know how to create a strategy using our specific strategy. You know how to add it to a chart. You know how to add the control panel. And I do recommend to put the control panel first and then the strategy. That way it just loads up better. I think we've got everything covered to get started. Now, if you were connected to an actual live account like Apex or a live account from NinjaTrader or any other thing, you'll actually see a bar timer down here counting down, and actually right here at next bar close, it'll be counting down as well. But because we are on a delayed time, like you can see right there, it's delayed up in the corner. Also right here, then you'll know that you can't trade off of that. So you can do sim tests and stuff and play around with it. If you wait I believe it's 10 minutes, the chart will start doing proper bars, but they're still 10 minutes behind. So it's that simple. Everything is now up and running because it's enabled. It'll actually take trades even now, even though it's on a delayed timer. It will take trades now that the bars are starting to get created properly. It's just it won't work for live trading. So that's basically it. If you guys have any other questions, just send them in Discord. I'm always available and we can answer those questions. But otherwise, yeah, just play with the settings, retest, backtest. I always encourage whatever you do, you always backtest something before it goes live. And I always start with the micro before I even jump to the next one. And then if you want to learn how to use any of these things or try to figure them out because you don't understand them well after you ask a question, always do it in a sim environment. Don't ever do it live because you just don't know how it's going to play out if you don't know, and you may end up in a loss. The best thing is play around in the sim environment, check out every setting. If there's certain kind of strategies that you want to run, always backtest, always sim environment first, always verify that you're getting the results that you're actually expecting when you click a button or you do something. Otherwise, you can get yourself into some trouble, and we don't want that. Yeah, we'll get other videos out about specific things, but for now, you're able to quickly get set up, download the stuff, make your charts, and you have a strategy you can already run. You can literally run this, wake up every morning, run it. I would never enable it and just leave it for a week and then walk off because most likely you're going to come back and there's going to be a problem. Not because the strategy is bad or whatever, but if you have an internet connection that goes down, it won't come back up properly. If you're working with a prop firm and their connection goes bad, it may disconnect you completely. There's things that happen in the background, and so you don't want to just walk off and just leave it to do its thing because you just don't know how it's going to play out. So get to the charts, do some wonderful trading. Again, this is the exact strategy I use every single day. It's automated. Yesterday we had a win. It was literally, I was chatting on the side. It went in the strategy. I was able to watch it from the side of my eye. Everything was good. We got in, we got out, boom. Profit was taken for the day and we walked off. You guys can do the exact same thing with this if you want. Just add more contracts, change it to NQ, do your back test if you want to do NQ rather than MNQ, and post all those winnings in there. We love to see them. We love to see how our users are doing, and hopefully if you guys can go through and do more back tests and try different settings and then put that in the community, we all grow together and we'll all get better together. So happy trading, and we'll see you out there on the charts.